is great.
Yeah.
Boy, it's got it's got a lot of power. You know, horsepower cures a lot of
Yeah,
problems.
it sure does.
Oh yeah, boy, that's just amazing.
Right? You know, and I'm a Tesla guy, but the sound sounds pretty good.
Episode of Leno's Garage, the car featuring today 2006 Pontiac Solstice. Now, before you run away, just sit still. 400 horsepower, V8, manual transmission. Got your attention now? Okay. Think of it as a Miata on steroids. And the man who designed it, you know him as the designer of Tesla, Franz von Holzhausen. Come on out. Franz, good to see you.
Likewise.
You know, we know you so much for the Model X, the Model Y, the Cybertruck. People think you graduated high school and went to work for Tesla, but you had quite a career. You were at Mazda, you designed this, you were at GM for a long time. This is a very special car. How did this come about, the sports car?
So we'll rewind a little bit. I started my career here in Southern California. I started working for Volkswagen and Audi, and I spent 8 years there. I met a gentleman who we worked together there, Frank Sacedo. And
Frank,
yeah, you know Frank, right? So he wanted to open the studio in North Hollywood with General Motors. They had asked him to do that, so I went along with him and we started that studio. That was right around the time, 2000, 2001, Lutz came on board, Bob Lutz came on board at GM, and he wanted to have something exciting to promote and really build up the brand of Pontiac. So he started this kind of global design competition within General Motors to come up with a two-seat roadster, $20,000. That was his ticket. Had to be cheap, affordable, good-looking, fun to drive, and just reinvigorate the brand Pontiac.
Well, he was also the man behind the reintroduction of the Pontiac GTO.
Exactly.
Using the Holden
Yes, from
platform,
Holden, right.
Which is a great car. If it has one failing, it's a little understated. It's like the English call a Q-ship. It just looks like a regular two-door sedan.
But not a bad-looking car.
No,
for
not
its
a
time.
bad-looking car. It just didn't have that oomph. You know, Pontiac, the GTO, Tiger Stripe, just all the kind of
Yeah,
things.
if you recall Pontiac at the time, we call it a lot of cladding, right? The Aztec had come out. There was just a lot of plastic stuff around the car.
Right.
And my thought was, we got to kind of take a look back and get a little more classic.
Right.
So we had a design competition. Ultimately, the sketches that I had submitted, Bob was like, that's the car that we got to do.
Right.
It turned into this. So in 2001, kind of right after Pebble Beach, had been up at Laguna Seca, had seen all these just, really cool cars on the track, like Cheetahs and E-Type Jags. And, you see them kind of in their raw spirit, but they're just, they're elegant, they're beautiful, these kind of cars from the 60s. And that really inspired me to kind of come up with a solution that looked like this. That was in September, and by December, we had a finished prototype made out of metal with a motor that Bob ultimately drove onto the stage in January 2002 for the auto show.
It's interesting because that could only happen under Lutz, because I remember in the 60s, John DeLorean, he wanted to build a two-seater, and GM was very protective. We got the Corvette, we got two-seaters, got all the two-seaters we need. If you want to build it, you make it a four-seater, Camaro, Pontiac, whatever, and that's what they did.
It was slightly contentious at the time. In fact, when we were in the design studio in Warren, Michigan, designing the Solstice, they put us in a locked room, and only Bob, Wayne Cherry, myself, Vicky, who did the interior design, and a handful of other people were allowed in this room. Everybody else was shut out.
Wow.
Marketing people, nobody was allowed in. It was this top secret project, and it was great because we had one-on-one dialogue with Bob and Wayne, and we just pulled the car together really, really quickly. And it was a special time, but everybody was curious what was going on. And the guys from Corvette were like, wait a minute, we heard about this little two-seat thing that you're doing. Is that going to undercut Corvette, And so it was a little contentious.
Well, sure, I guess the idea would be a Corvette, but cheaper. Hey.
Yeah, exactly. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
So they were a little riled up. And I think hence the idea of branding it Pontiac and really cleaning up the idea of what Pontiac was. Like, you remember the Aztec, not the best looking car,
Aztec
right?
was Yeah, I never quite got that. But it's just, you know, it reminded me of the Queen family truckster from the vacation movie. You know, where you go, what is that? It seemed like such a foul ball into left field. Just such an odd.
Well, you couldn't get any worse. So, like, in a weird sort of way, this car came, and I think it helped. You know, we had a good starting point to improve.
Well, I thought this was a good-looking car, and this was designed to compete with the Miata, correct?
Yeah, exactly. We looked at the Miata. The car needed to have like this American feel to it, and like I said, we were looking back at that romantic era of sports car driving. That's what I was referring to, where just these really clean shapes, you know, no excess on it.
And this was designed to be a sports car, because when the Fiero came out, it was a two-seater commuter car and had the Iron Duke, the little four-cylinder, not a very good car. And then they realized people are using it for sporty purposes. Let's make it. In the last iteration with the V6 and the 5, it's a pretty good car.
Yeah.
But by that time, the reputation had been sullied by the Sandcast motor and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, it was really, while we were in the process of developing the car, it was really important that we try to keep the cost of the car under $20,000. That was Bob's kind of holy grail. The car has to be $19,995, right? As a starting point. And so that really led us to a lot of unique decisions. We went in and had to really use the parts bin of General Motors to kind of put stuff on this car that, you know, we would have liked to have designed specifically. So if you kind of go around the car, like the front fog lights are off a GTO, the rear reflectors are off a Buick Envoy, the door handles are just like parts bin door handles that came off of every
It's funny
GM.
you mentioned, because the door handles seem big for the car.
Yeah.
These seem like a big Cadillac or Lincoln door handle. You get your whole hand inside.
They were the cheapest door handles that GM was making at the time.
Right, that's funny.
And, you know, originally I had wanted to do a flush door handle, and I had seen the Fiat Barchetta with the little lever. And, you know, fast forward to Model 3, Tesla, I finally got that door handle in there.
Get your door handle. Got to get your door handle.
But it was too expensive. You know, they were making this little Barchetta door handle in a little garage in Italy, and it was just too expensive to try to get the parts.
But when it came out, I think it had more horsepower than me. I think the Miata was 160. This was what, 177?
Yeah, it was a 2.4 liter Ecotec motor they used all over the place in a lot of cars. I think it was 177 horsepower.
Yeah.
But, you know, rear-wheel drive, it was a whole new architecture. GM didn't really have anything to build this car off of, so they created the cap architecture, and they built this car on it. It's unique in a lot of different ways. It used sheet hydroforming for both the chassis, so it's got hydroform rails. So a similar idea to the Corvette with a tunnel. So it's the combination of the tunnel and the sheet hydroform rails really made a solid chassis. And then in order to get the shapes and the width, and if you look at like the bonnet wraps over, in order to be able to stamp that, the only solution was sheet hydroforming. No other manufacturer was doing sheet hydroforming. It was, you know, and so they partnered with a company in Japan, I think called Leno, and became the first car where you could get deep draw, really beautiful finishes, but it's single-sided die, so it was much less capex to do the program. Like, I don't think you could stamp the rear quarter panel with a draw or the hood with a draw in conventional stamping.
Oh, okay. Now the Solstice was the performance arm, and the Saturn was more the fun commuter car.
Yeah, so the concept was, you know, we have this cap architecture that we've started. The Solstice, you know, kicked it off. There was a GXP Solstice that had more horsepower, as a 2-liter turbocharged. I think it got up to 260 horsepower.
Right.
So a little bit more spirited, different fascias. And then we did a coupe as well.
Right.
So that was pretty unique. I think they made 1,000 or so.
And the car weighed what, 28?
Yeah, around 2,800 pounds.
Yeah, that's
I think
not bad.
Maybe a little more with the turbo.
Yeah.
So right around 3,000 pounds. And then they said, we got this architecture, let's expand on it. So they wanted to do a Saturn version.
Right.
And the inspiration for that came from Vauxhall. There was a study done of the Vauxhall. And so we stayed behind in Michigan as this car was being done, and then did the Saturn Sky version. And there's a Redline version, which is the same thing. And in a weird sort of way was kind of the badge engineering, if you remember those days, where you had different brands, but it's basically the same car.
Right, yeah.
And I think we did a pretty good job of making the cars look uniquely different. If you know the Saturn
Well,
Sky
I
versus
always
the
thought it was
Solstice.
a good-looking car. I mean, and this one, we don't hold them off any longer. This one is special. This has a V8, 400 horsepower. Which V8 is it?
So it's an LS2.
LS2.
Yeah, 400 horsepower. So it's quite an upgrade from the 177.
So this would be exactly Corvette's worst nightmare, isn't it? You're taking
Pretty much.
the Corvette. The LS2 was in the Corvette
Yep.
in those days.
Yep.
So you just take it out and you put it in a car that's $1,000, $2,000 cheaper.
Well, significantly cheaper. I mean, I
yeah.
don't know what the Corvette was, but this car
Yeah.
was, 20 grand, and then with the conversion that Mallet was doing is another 20,000. So I think you're still, cheaper.
Okay, so that conversion was not done by GM, but was it sanctioned by GM?
I don't know the story. In some way, it must have been, because Mallet had said he was going to do 100 cars.
Right.
And they did both the Sky and the Solstice.
Like Yanko, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And Chuck Mallet, is that
Chuck Mallet,
Well,
yeah.
it's so funny how the name sticks.
Yeah.
I remember when I was reading about it, oh, that sounds good, but I never saw one.
Yeah.
This is the first time, and nowhere do you know, does it have a V8 badge on it anywhere?
It doesn't. I think the Mallets, they put badging on it. Me being, more of a purist, I took the badging off. But yeah, this is the only location where that we see that it's a V8.
Yeah, but that doesn't count.
Yeah, when you're driving, you can't really see it.
Got your head on it, you can't see it.
Yeah.
Do I reach down
Yeah,
here?
it should be right on the side. If you can find it.
I think I'm going to pop something. I don't want to. Oh, here it is. Well, there's a piece of trim. I don't want to pull it. So let's see if I put up.
Ooh, yeah. Let's see. There it is.
And this is your personal car, right?
Yes, this is my car.
Right.
My wife and I actually ended up designing the car together before we were married, before any of that. But
well, that's caused a few fights. Designing a car with your wife, I can't imagine.
But she owned an original car and had almost no miles on it.
Right.
And sadly, we lost it in the fire in Altadena.
Ah.
And so I thought, we have to find a car to replace that. And this was a really clean car that came up. And it just so happened to have this wonderful V8 in it, which definitely is.
Well, that looks like a factory installation to me. It's very well done.
Really well done. Yes.
I mean, it didn't have to compromise the headers. Are those the stock headers or special to fit in there?
I think they're on the LS2. They're the stock headers.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that they do is they upgrade the suspension. So it's about 150 pounds more weight, but the weight's shifted rearward. So the weight balance is still like 53-47 on this car roughly.
That's not
so it's
bad.
pretty good, yeah.
That's pretty
Considering, an extra 150 pounds out front.
Yeah.
They upgrade the radiator, suspension, brakes, and
obviously, if you get 400 horsepower, you can get 550 too.
Yes, of course. I think there's an LS3 and LS7 upgrade that they do as well.
Right.
You can get a 6-speed transmission in it. This still has the original transmission from the car, which is out of a Chevy Colorado pickup truck. They do a new clutch, so it's got a LUK clutch in it.
Now, was this warranted by GM?
GM warranties the car, but then Mallet did a 2-year, 24,000-mile warranty on it, which I thought was pretty good for a small little retrofit company.
So you bought the car for $20,000, and you give it to him, and he would modify.
For another $20,000, he would modify it, and you get back a turnkey upgrade. And they handled the OBD, so there's no weird, lights on the dash or anything like that.
Are they still around? If I showed up with a 20-year-old Solstice, is this
From my understanding, they've moved from Ohio to North Carolina, South Carolina, but I think they're still around.
It's a swap you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've never seen one. I've heard about it and thinking, boy, what a great car that is.
And, it's a couple 100 pounds lighter than a Corvette.
Right.
With a Corvette motor in it.
Right.
Just kind of short wheelbase. It's pretty spirited, pretty fun to drive.
Yeah, yeah. Stock brakes?
These are upgraded brakes from Mallet as well as part of the package.
Yeah.
God, but like the clamshell hood, it's kind of romantic, like feels like a Jag a little bit.
It's hard to believe it's 20 years old. Yeah, I always thought it was a good looking. I never quite got the whole Saturn thing where, hey, bring the family and we're going to meet in some city in Texas and have a barbecue. Yeah, okay, guys, I just want to drive the car.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, they were kind of pioneering as well. I think Saturn was one of the first cars with plastic, door panels and pieces.
But they really tried to make it an experience, and it was quite successful. You had they would have
These rallies were pretty big.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you had 8,000 people show up or something, and they sold quite a few cars. And then one day, Saturn just, that's it, it's over.
I mean, I felt kind of bad. I work on the Pontiac Solstice, and then they kill the brand.
Right.
I work on the Saturn Sky, they kill the brand. Like, I don't know, it's a little foreshadowing or something, but.
Yeah. I mean, it seemed to be reasonably successful. Was it just hard to make money on a $20,000 car? Was that the reason?
I'm not sure the profitability. I know the BOM cost was less than the actual retail at the time, but it was 2009, 2010 they stopped. I think the recession came.
Oh, and then the crash in 2000.
Crash, and so then people were just stopped, doing anything fun.
That's
right?
what it did. Yeah.
And I think that was the end of that, and both brands were struggling as well. And so it was, contentious time. But I think during its run, in the 3 or 4 years that it was for sale, they sold around 64,000 units.
I never hear them coming up for sale. I'm looking at Bring a Trailer. You'd think, oh, this is the first one I've ever seen.
They've kind of float around. I've seen them a little bit, but yeah, I mean, this is, I think, rivals the car that we lost in the fire in terms of it has 5,000 miles total on it.
Oh yeah, well, it's better than that because it's a V8.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
Yeah, it's very good. Cool. Can we take it for a ride?
Let's go for a spin.
Let's give it a shot. Oh, there we go.
Should we jump in?
Like giant door handle. Boy, this is very nice. So if I bought one of these and brought it to Mallet, would they do the conversions to this day? They're still around?
As far as I know, yes.
Sounds good. I'm going to put my seatbelt on in a minute. I mean, it's very cozy, and it's... Oh, this thing is great.
Yeah.
Boy, it's got it's got a lot of power, and it doesn't look like a Franken car. You know what I mean? It looks like it belongs here.
Well, I don't know if you noticed, but the wheels they're a little bit bigger. They're 19s and 20s.
Right.
And when we were designing the car in the studio, I had the same actual wheel in the studio that we were using until we designed our own. And I thought it would be cool to put those same wheels back on this car and get it back to the sketch.
Boy, this thing is great. Horsepower cures a lot of problems.
Yeah, it sure does. It sure does. And I'm a Tesla guy, but the sound sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it does sound very good. How long have you been with Tesla now?
So coming up on 18 years.
Yeah, so this is the longest you've been anywhere,
yeah,
right?
Definitely. I was at VW and Audi for 8 years. GM for 5.
I keep thinking everybody's 28 to 32 years old.
That's how old I am.
And I can't.
But I think we're in a really unique time in transportation with autonomy coming. The EVs are they're around and more prevalent.
I always tell guys this is the golden age. In the 60s, you got horsepower with no brakes, no handling, unsafe, dangerous cars.
Sometimes seatbelts.
Yeah. I mean, now there are no bad cars anymore. People get rid of a car because they don't like the color or they're tired of it, not because it wore out or it broke.
Right.
It doesn't really happen that. I remember my dad, every 2 years we go to Midas Muffler to get our free muffler with the warranty because the salt would eat through just the cheap metal that was in it. Yeah. You got the muffler free, but you had to pay for a tailpipe if it needed a tailpipe. That was the idea. So a guy would come out who had just one big muscle arm, and he had a pair of pliers, and he'd squeeze your tailpipe until it just crushed.
Right.
And then they have to get you charged.
Oh, look, I need a new tailpipe.
Yeah, you need a new tailpipe. Yeah. That was my father yelling at that. I mean, we bought a 66 Ford, and it's the summer of 68, 69, there were bubbles on both fenders from, throwing up the salt. And,
Well, now the corrosion technology, the paints.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Cars will last a lot longer. And I think if you take care of a car, this car is, unrestored. It's 20-something years old, 20 years old.
I know. It's just hard to believe. If you had a kid when you bought this car, he'd be in college now.
Oh my gosh,
And
right?
you go, that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I got to look online and see if Mallet is still in business.
Yeah.
Do you think he is?
I think they've moved locations, and
Yeah.
I think they're still in business.
It just seems like something I should hear about.
Yeah.
Because it's such a great idea, and it's not going to ruffle any feathers. It just looks like a Pontiac Solstice.
Yeah.
You know.
They do a great job, I think.
Yeah, they do
with
a
the
wonderful
conversion.
job. I mean, this thing is unbelievable.
And my gosh, the fun factor is,
They kept the old slow 140-mile-an-hour speedometer.
my kids still think that whatever the speedo says,
Yeah,
that's how
I-
fast the car goes.
Yeah, you know, my mirrors are in kilometers, and one kid goes, "Whoa, 320! This goes 320!"
Fast.
Yeah.
But what I think is nice about this motor too, it's really docile. It's easy to drive around town.
You know, I give John Moses a lot of credit. I got that ZR1 Corvette. Can't stop talking about it. You know, it's as exotic as any motor. Flat plane crank, 4 cam, 4 valve, 1,250 horsepower.
Yeah.
I mean,
insane.
it's just for less than the sales tax of
Yeah.
some European exotics.
Exactly.
Well, I always say that your Corvettes are attainable. I made the mistake of saying the ZR1, this is a car, you know, a regular guy could drive. Okay, that is the most expensive version. But when the C8 came out, it was $68,000.
Yeah.
And I remember the same week the NSX came out, and that was $205,000.
Right. And any of the European cars are double that.
Yeah, exactly. $20,000 car, that seems hilarious.
Right? Well, it's a minor engine upgrade, but
Yeah.
and I think they did a really good job of keeping the balance as neutral as possible. So the handling is still,
Yeah.
you don't give up, it's not oversteering, understeering. Definitely can oversteer.
Hey, break them loose. How old are these tires?
They're pretty new.
I know. Oh yeah, boy, that's just amazing.
Right?
And it's nice. It's a nice stock motor, not some cammy thing where
No.
you're overheating and everything else.
Like I was saying before, I think they make bigger kits like LS3 or LS7.
Yeah.
500 and something horsepower. Like
Yeah.
it's a little extreme for this size car.
Yeah, yeah.
At that point, this is a pretty good balance where it's tame to drive. Like you said, it's no frills.
Well, if you didn't know what it was, you'd think it was just a regular
Yeah,
Solstice,
exactly.
unless you put your foot in it.
Right.
You know.
But also, even at speed, it's not screaming, you know?
Right, right.
Get the beautiful smells.
Yeah. My Bristol 403 is an expensive car. And it says the reason this car does not have air conditioning is so you can enjoy the pastoral smells as
Right.
you drive through the car. It's not such a... Oh yeah, that's why I don't have it. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
right. In fact, it's 104 degrees.
Right. You're melting. But it smells good.
Don't really need 6 speeds in this thing.
No, and you know, it's a pretty bulletproof transmission coming out of the pickup truck. And it's an easy to drive car.
Oh, it's very, very good.
When we were working on the car, there was a lot of discussion around whether they should use a V6
Yeah.
and give it a little more horsepower. But I think the extra weight and the cost of V6 ultimately was the demise of that idea.
Yeah.
And so then they started looking at turbocharging the 4-cylinder, and they were using that 4-cylinder, the Ecotec motor, everywhere. So the cost was really affordable. I don't think they were ever thinking of putting a V8 in it like this.
Yeah, but it comes on so strong. Cowl's not moving around. Very sturdy. Very well-built car.
Yeah, I think the tunnel, the hydroform rails, makes a pretty solid platform for a convertible.
It must be heartbreaking as a designer engineer. You work on something, it's going fine. I cancel. What? Why?
Yeah.
Why did we get rid of this? What happened? You know.
Well, we're also canceling the Model S, the Model X.
Yeah, yeah.
The end of an era there too.
Well, the Model S is certainly one of the most important cars of the millennium, I guess. If not the most, I mean, a real game changer.
Yeah, showed what an EV could be, not what people thought it was.
You know, I talk to people all the time, and they go, "Well, what does Tesla sell? Like 10,000 cars a year?"
Yeah.
No, they're the biggest luxury maker in the world.
Yeah.
It's 100. I mean, it's in the hundreds of what the people want. They just because they don't see advertising all the time.
Right. Well, it's sad to see story brands like Pontiac disappear as well.
I know. Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
When you're making a car like this, and you still have to, you know, get rid of the brand, it's really sad to see.
Well, the writing was on the wall when they all went to the same motor, the same engine.
Right.
I used to love the days Buick had the nail head and Oldsmobile had, you know.
Yep.
Boy, what a sweet motor. It just makes the right noises. Put a little louder exhaust on this thing.
When you get your foot in it, though, it's pretty loud.
Yeah. But like I always say, horsepower sells cars, torque wins races.
That's right.
And you put your foot in this, and boy, you just feel it. I mean, we broke the tires loose.
Yeah.
That's why I asked if they were old. They were spinning. You can never sell this car. You got to hang on to this.
Yeah.
Did this ever come with an automatic? I guess it did.
It did come with an automatic.
That's right, yeah. This is stock shocks and everything, right?
They're upgraded shocks that Mallet does, yeah. Just to handle the weight up front.
Yeah.
But they're lower too.
Yeah.
So it's a little tighter suspension than the stock car. Stock car comes on 18-inch wheels. These are 19s and 20s.
Yeah. Did they make a hardtop for this too?
Pontiac actually made a coupe version that had a removable Targa top.
Oh, that's interesting.
And they only made just about 1,000 of those. So those are hard to find.
Boy, this thing is really great.
Yeah.
Build it again. Bring it back.
I know, right? Bring it back.
What's so odd is he finds in something non-electric. So this is like going to the enemy, the dark side.
I know, right?
It's like the dark side.
But we all have a dark past too,
that's right.
So.
Yeah, but I mean, to me, I love the fact that I have gas and I have electric. And when gas is $7 a gallon like it is now,
Right.
I use my Tesla to run around town and run errands, and then when I want to go out, I take something like this.
Yeah, I think having options from just makes our country more sustainable too.
Yeah. Well, Franz, thank you very much. We're eagerly anticipating the arrival of the new Roadster.
Yes, very soon. Very soon.
Very soon. 10 years in the 10 years?
It'll be just shy of 10 years.
Yeah. Well, thanks
well
again.
Worth
Appreciate it.
Jay, pleasure.
Oh, yeah.
Always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Folks, you ever get a chance to drive one of these, take it. Just a great car. It's called the Mallet V8, and it's I gotta admit, I was not aware of this until it showed up here on my doorstep. So we'll see you guys next week with some more surprises. See you then. Thanks.